So this is you by Lake Ontario, Niagara on the lake?
Feeling like I was on top of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that way.
That's me, right here. I'm on top of the world, man.
O.J. Conway Bramwell's time working on an Ontario farm was bittersweet.
It's so beautiful, you know?
He made money his family desperately needed, but it came at a cost.
It felt like we're machines, you know? We're just there to work hard. Don't question anything, you know? Just keep on doing that.
Jamaica sends about 10,000 seasonal workers to Canadian farms every year, the program invaluable to both countries. Canada for the labor it provides, Jamaica for the money workers send back.
Everybody wants to get out and make some money and change their life.
OJ says his bunkhouse was infested with rats, tearing into packages of food. He also says he and others were verbally abused. The owner of the farm denies both accusations.
I'm suffering, but I am earning. You know, he's abusive, but I can pay the bill, weighing the pros and cons every day. So that it's a constant struggle for most of the guys.
OJ's anger spurred him to help write this open letter, likening Canada's seasonal agricultural workers program to systematic slavery. We are treated like mules and punished for not working fast enough, it says. The exploitation is at a seismic level. The letter triggered international headlines, prompting Jamaica to send a team to Canada to investigate. We went to see Helene Davis-White, a trade unionist who led the group at her office in Jamaica.
When I think of the term systematic slavery and what that conjures up, I did not see that.
Her team visited dozens of farms, surveying and meeting with hundreds of workers across Canada.
The majority of workers felt that they were being treated either from fair up to excellent.
Their final report, released in May, put that number at 87%, describing close, almost familial relations between some farmers and workers. But there were also some farms where showers did not offer complete privacy, and farms where the number of toilets and showers appeared inadequate.
That was not.
Helene says there were also complaints of verbal abuse bordering on racism.
Those sound like really horrible things for them to report to say you were overall satisfied with what you saw.
You have the very bad and the very good in the program, but what we did find is that the very bad was not in the majority.
There have long been concerns about the treatment of migrant farm workers in Canada, especially during the pandemic. This video, allegedly showing a cramped bunkhouse in Windsor, was shared by advocacy group Justice for Migrant Workers in 2020. One room, 12 people, barely any privacy.
The report was nothing surprising. It was very positive.
Ken Forth, a lifelong farmer, says poor treatment is rare. For him, the Jamaican report feels like vindication.
Our farmers are good people, by gosh. They're really good people. And 98% of them or so are really good employers, and they really care for these workers.
Forth runs an organization that helps farmers join the migrant workers program.
There's a lot of people looking at this program and making sure it is right, and it is.
Do you feel like there are areas of improvement, though, that farmers could do?
I was always of the opinion that you should improve everything you do in your life, and I think this industry has done just that.
Advocates say there's so much more to do, but for workers, speaking out can be risky. They're tied to their employers. If a worker is fired, they have to leave Canada.
They see no problem with, the situation here that farm workers are facing. For me, that's just rubbish.
Robert Boucher worked in an Ontario greenhouse and doesn't trust the report's positive findings.
If you learn that one of your former co-workers were not brought back, and it was because he had spoken up, then you would want to take a back and be silent about what you are facing.
This is indentured work. You have no choices.
Syed Hassan is executive director of the Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. Remember the letter alleging systematic slavery? Hassan's organization published it. He says Ottawa needs to fix the power imbalance.
But what can actually be done to better this program then?
The federal government of Canada must ensure permanent resident status. The Canadian government sets immigration rules and labor rules. So at the end of the day, it's the Canadian government that is responsible.
A spokesperson for the agency that runs the program said it's working with other federal departments, provincial governments, and stakeholders, continuing to explore ways to protect temporary foreign workers.
The house was dirty.
Back in Jamaica, OJ says he's struggling to find a Canadian farm that will hire him. He fears it's because of his involvement with the letter, but he doesn't regret it.
The letter helped a lot of people, I can tell you.
And what he wants Canadians to know?
We are your neighbors. You know, whenever you go to the store, whenever you pick up a fresh, those lovely plums, those lovely strawberries, remember us, you know?